What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Lauriello, and I am so excited to bring you guys a Sunapee Scramble pre-race interview. This one with the Grandmaster himself, Alaskan-born mountain runner, a Mount Marathon champion, and course record holder, Mr. David Norris. David has had a whole previous life in a completely different sport as a Nordic skier at an extremely high level, at that almost Olympic level. So trail running is just something that he does, yes, professionally, but also to have a lot of fun. It was super fun getting to catch up with David and learn more about him. I would say arguably one of the best mountain classic athletes as far as that distance in the country, if not the world. Like I said, Mount Marathon record holder, others who have held the Mount Marathon record, including the ones David had broke from Kilian Jornet, things like that. So yeah, it's been super cool to catch up with David and learn where his stoke level is going into Sunapee. I know he's very excited to try to make a U.S. team and go represent Team USA over in the Pyrenees this summer. We talked a lot about strategy of the race. We talked about his plans for going out there, kind of what he can transfer almost from that Alaskan background of his, where the mountain running is just different, to bring to the East Coast where, some of those trails are going to be quite technical, especially the second loop ascent, and just kind of where he can kind of, transfer his background into racing at a high level. So it's going to be really fun and exciting to see David throw down at this race. And I hope you guys enjoy this pre-race interview, and we're wishing David the best of luck. David Norris, welcome to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How are you, buddy?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Excited to finally have this convo. It's we're doing all these interviews with all the elite men and women leading up to the Sunapee Scramble, so it's exciting to have this conversation. And yeah, man, this is going to be a fun one. What's the if you don't mind me asking, like, what's the stoke level for Sunapee? It's just a few weeks out.
Stoke is high. Just to see how deep the start list is right now, and then kind of know that I've kind of focused more on running this past winter and spring more than ever. It's gonna be a fun kind of first little check-in to see what the training's done.
For sure. Dude, I didn't realize this until I just happened to go back and look at Ultra Sign Up. I didn't realize you ran the Royal Gorge Groove a few weeks back, the 50K. It was just an easy little training run for you, or what was the intention for that? Just a long effort?
Yeah, kind of I know that, going out from my front door, I wouldn't put in that same type of effort. So it's a good excuse to have a good race effort, try some nutrition over 50K. And then also it's in a really sweet area. So my wife and I were well, if we go down to the race, then we can mountain bike in Salida and have a nice little 2 nights of camping.
Dude, one thing I really enjoy about you is you kind of do it all. You're not just a runner. Obviously you have a ridiculous skiing background, but also you're really big on the cycling scene as well, really into the cycling. Maybe talk about that a little bit. You're a balanced athlete. You kind of just don't focus on one sport. You do a lot.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's almost challenging because the more I get into running, the more I see the value in specificity of training. But just for pure joy and being outside, mountain biking and gravel riding is some of my favorite stuff to do in the summer. And then it's my wife's primary thing in the summer is mountain biking. So it's one of those things I'll try to get the morning run in that I aim to do for the key workout of the day, and then in the afternoon ride with her and just be open to however long, however hard we're gonna ride. I'm game for it. So it's kind of just balancing that. But I grew up kind of chasing my older siblings around, and they were multisport athletes, and so that was just kind of the norm. And ski racing, cross country skiing, really it rewards being a multisport athlete and using lots of forms of cross training to build fitness in the summer. So I've kind of just made that part of my lifestyle.
Super cool. Yeah, I don't think people realize just how much of it you can get an enormous engine like from gravel biking and mountain biking. And like, it's just like, it's a perfect, like for me, it took, I just got injured and I was playing around with it and I was like, man, like I didn't realize like how much fun you can have on a gravel bike. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's kind of more fun than running in a lot of ways, just because you could go further and see more places. So it makes it a little more interesting. Plus you can like maintain fitness with it. So yeah, man, I'm a big proponent of the cycling. It's not a bad thing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So so it's interesting with you. I think I raced you at Cirque Series Brighton last year. I saw you where you had a great race with Patrick and beat Philemon. And like, it just seems like the mountain classic distance really complements you as well. Obviously, on top of that, you hold the course record and have had so many amazing finishes at Mount Marathon. What is it about the mountain classic that you just have figured out? Like, it's just a very interesting thing, and you have it dialed, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that race in Brighton with Patrick and Philemon was, I mean, it showed me like what I have dialed and what I still need to improve. Cause like those guys were really, really strong on the cat tracks and gradual train. And, but then like in the technical train, I was able to close back and catch them. And so we actually were leapfrogging a lot because it was so kind of like condition dependent on where our strengths lied or weaknesses showed. But I think with like the ski background, like I just have big engine and kind of the power or strength to like do vertical Ks well. And so that's like where Mount Marathon, like that's basically just a vertical K with like a gnarly downhill back to the finish. And like with ski training and living in Alaska for most of my life, like that was just kind of like the backyard workout that you did all the time was like bag a peak and run down a scree field or whatever it was. Um, and and I guess the mountain classics like the right duration where you got like you're kind of maxing out, like you're redlining every climb and then trying to recover on the descent and then do it again. And that's a lot like cross country ski racing. Like our longest race is 50K, but we were training basically for 10 and 15 kilometer races. And then you just stretch out for the 50K when like you get those opportunities to do those longer races. So I think like being able to redline, like, you know, be like up to the gills and lactate and then clear it and try to do it again. Like that was basically our ski training. And that was like my life for 15 years, basically. So like it kind of transitions well to the running side for that.
Yeah, it complements very well. Let me ask you this: with training, are you still like? Because I know, I mean, I'm kind of a noob. I don't know too much about Nordic skiing, but I do know there's a large base of like heart rate training and heart rate based stuff. Do you still do most of that with your training, or no?
Yeah, I mean, Nordic skiing traditionally is really heart rate driven, and you know, like it's kind of the only useful metric because like snow condition changes, so you can't necessarily go on pace. And then like we don't have power like cycling. But I kind of grew up in a system that we wore our heart rate monitors, but it wasn't really like um, so black and white. Like we used perceived effort a lot, and then there were certain camps I was at where we did use lactate. Um, but like probably the last 5 years of my ski career, I didn't really wear a heart rate monitor at all. I just went completely off perceived effort, and I really like that style. I've kind of geeked out a little bit more in the last year wearing a heart rate monitor again, and I'm not necessarily like using it to dictate my paces or workouts, but I'm kind of looking at it throughout the workout or afterwards just to try to like start learning. Cause I found like in the 50Ks, like an hour into the race, I feel like I'm going just way too easy. But then 3 hours into the race, I'm often regretting how hard I went in the first 45 minutes or something. So I'm trying to like pay attention and be like, okay, so like is 160 like a ceiling I should set for myself in the first 2 hours of the race, or should I ignore it and just go with the flow and try to keep up with my competitors? You know, so I'm still learning and trying to figure out what's right, but I also enjoy all the data and stuff like that when I have time to look at it.
It's interesting, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I've gotten more this year into just like paying more attention to the heart rate, but like that's because I just don't come from that background in the sense where, like I've come from more of a running background with perceived exertion, and that's kind of what coaches always like push. And I'm like, that makes a difference, but I don't know. I think for like certain things like in development, like the heart rate stuff has really helped me like a ton, just trying to figure out like threshold heart rate and stuff like that. I gotta ask you, so this is really interesting. You've come from like this background of like these really like shorter races. Obviously you've dabbled in the 50Ks and you've ran some longer stuff as well, some Golden Trail Series races, but like not as much as to like some of your competitors. And I think that's made you a little slept on in this race. And it blows my mind because like I easily have you as a pick to go make this world's team. Like what does that mean to you if you go make the team? Like if you go represent Team USA in September?
Um, I think it's almost like one of the things that maybe like the excitement or like happiness that like reaching that goal. I don't even know. I think I never put it as like a real goal. Like at no point in my life was I ever thinking like I want to make a world's team in running. It was always just all my goals were purely cross country skiing. And then in the last few years, it's like I almost feel so like uneducated or like uninformed in the trail running space as like compared to how much I know about cross country skiing, that this is just like this whole new like world to me. And so I'm very excited about all of it, like running a new trail, signing up for races I've never done before. Like it's everything's just very fun to me right now. I feel like really green in that regard, like on the race side of things, even though like I have plenty of miles in my legs and I've done all the races in Alaska, but like yeah, like yeah, but I would be so excited. Like, and clearly it is a goal for me. I signed up for Sunapee and then also Broken Arrow to give me those opportunities, but also like knowing that they're world trial races, I kind of just want to like go head to head against a bunch of the best guys in the country and just see where I stack up. I think that's also like, even if I don't make the team, like just knowing where I'm at, it's going to help me with like training and kind of like my motivation going forward.
It's interesting to me because I think this course just like suits you really well. I mean, obviously it's not Alaska, but like there's some like tricky downhill sections on one of the loop, like I guess on both of the loops. I don't know. I got to ask you this, like there's going to be some strategy in play here because it's a 2-loop course, right? It's not like an up down where in the tradition where you're just throwing yourself up the mountain and then throwing yourself off of it. Like there's a little more to it. When it comes to like racing something like that, usually the person leading the first loop might not be the person winning the race. Do you have any strategy you'll probably throw into it when it comes to a race like this?
Um, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm not really sure what the course looks like. Like, I've had some people that have done it before message me and be like, it's basically like a road race. And then other people tell me it's really gnarly. Um, but I do think like speed is really valuable on this course. Um, And I think for me, a lot of it's probably just staying relaxed the first lap and then hammering maybe like, I don't know. A lot of times I just kind of think like on the final uphill, if you're the first to the top on the final main climb, like you've situated yourself to probably make it to the finish in a good position. Um, and that being said, like with the technical downhill and stuff, like often I won't lose positions in the descent, but like Brighton when it finished on a cat track.
So fast. Yeah.
Yeah, who is was it Philemon or Patrick? Philemon got third,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I held him off, but he was closing on me fast. And on that cat track, my Strava told me I ran my fastest mile of my life. And I was like, I felt like I was just like sacrificing my feet to try to, I was like, I'll do whatever. And like, almost hearing my own feet slap in the ground to try and hold them off. So there is some interesting stuff there, but like, yeah, I'll probably just play it by ear really. Like I know some other races, like with Christian Allen, he like went off so fast off the like initial cat track, and it's really impressive and humbling to see that. And then hopefully there's some steep pitches and things like that that suit my strengths well.
Yeah. No, I think it's smart. I don't. It's interesting too because it's like I don't think of this as a Cirque Series race, but I just think of like the way those races run, where if you don't put yourself in the race almost immediately, like it can get away from you, right? Like that was
Yeah.
something like I had a hard time figuring out last year, just like very early on initially. Like you have to treat it like an 800-meter like immediately, and if you don't, like you're not going to get yourself into the race. So yeah, it's interesting the strategy you have to take with these super short races and how that plays out. So
Yeah.
yeah. Let me ask you this. Are you going to go out super early? Like I know a lot of guys are going out on, it seems like the trend is going to be go out on Thursday, races on Sunday. So that gives you a few days to like play on the course. Are you going to go out like in that range or?
Um, I'm leaving Friday evening or Friday afternoon after work. So I'll get there. I'll stay in Boston Friday night and then drive up Saturday. Um, yeah, right now I'm kind of tight on leave time with work and stuff. And so like, I'd love to preview the course and hang out, but I feel like I travel well, so it should be fine.
Got to be
Then
in, man.
go check
Yeah.
out what I can.
Let me ask you this, because you do, yeah, man, like you have like a big boy job and you train at such a high level. I know we talked about a little bit about this before we got the pod started, but like maybe talk about how you're able to balance all that. Like obviously it's not an easy thing to do. So
Yeah. Well, before I started recording, I said like, I mean, I can do it because I don't have children. But also like probably the big thing is like my wife is exercising before and after work as well, and she's full-time physical therapist, and so we kind of just have that like routine of life, I guess, that we like get up early, we might jog together, ski in the morning, whatever it is, and then after work we kind of plan some kind of exercise as well. um, and in the winter I'm doing almost all those activities with Jessica, but like in the summer with more running I do have to kind of do more stuff on my own. But yeah, we kind of just make that a priority and then try to keep up with everything else. And I feel like it sometimes that for me, like especially becoming a full time lender at the bank, like that's meant just sleeping less. Like when I was ski racing, I would fully take advantage of like getting my 8 hours of sleep at night and then like an hour nap during the day. Like bad time for it. I love napping and all that type of stuff. But but I also have just found that like I'm more resilient than I thought I was for the most part, and like can handle it and can fit more into the day and survive. Like I feel like 10 years ago I was just like, no, like I'm gonna sleep for like 8 to 9 hours every night and take a nap. But yeah, I've been healthy, not getting sick and stuff like that. So like yeah, knock on wood, and yeah, it's working out. And then my wife and I have a coaching company that we do on the side, and that's keeping us busy as well. But it's kind of like fun. Like we just yeah make dinner and talk about it, and like write plans for folks, stuff like that.
nice, nice.
Yeah,
So besides Broken Arrow and Sunapee, what else do you have on the schedule? Are you going to go back to Mount Marathon this year?
yeah, I am. So
Nice.
Mount Marathon, um, and then OCC
Okay.
at the end of August. So that's like I guess initially that was like the big target for me, but then like I don't know, I can't help but be super excited for Sunapee and Broken Arrow, and then Mount Marathon's like always awesome. Uh, so yeah, those are kind of what's on the calendar now, and then depending on World Champs, I'll for sure find some race to do later in the fall, just because like yeah, it doesn't feel like that many races on schedule for me.
Nice. Any Cirque Series races you think you'll hop into, or that's going to depend on what happens on the schedule?
Yeah, I think maybe if depending on the schedule, maybe the last one or two, like the Crystal Mountain in Washington,
Okay.
maybe try to go there. but yeah, I might just play it by ear. It's kind of changed a little bit too with like On's not a title sponsor for Cirque anymore.
Yeah.
So that kind of like changed a little bit of like the incentive to get there and try to represent. But I do love those races, and Julian's always been great to me, and just the whole that community is really cool. So I like those guys.
It's funny. I've been like, I brought up the last time I talked to Julian, I brought up, are we going to get another like race in Colorado? And I was like, dude, like Steamboat's the place to do it. Like why
Yeah.
that would be, cause it's a little bit lower altitude. I don't know. I just feel like it would be such a good spot, and it's such a cool town. So we gotta like campaign for that.
Yeah. I've pushed.
We'll say it would be fun. What's the race day shoe going to be for you?
I'm not totally positive. Like if I don't think I bang up my feet too much, the Cloudventure Peaks are kind of like the lightweight, like most nimble shoe. But then in June, we're coming out with some new shoes that folks have been racing in but haven't been released. But there's the Cloud Ultra and then the Cloud Ultra Pro, and the Ultra Pro is like kind of the more nimble, like super shoe-ish type shell shoe that we have. And I really like those, so I'll be in one of those. Um, so we'll see. I'm gonna bring them all out and then just go like run around on Saturday, check it out.
See what works. No, I got
Yeah.
you, dude. I feel like On's got some like some cool new tech coming out that I've kind of like seen on social media pop up here and there. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
How do you like that trail team? Like On's pretty legit, man. Like you've got Jeff. I mean, both Jeff Mogavero and Jeff Cole. Like it's a deep team, so it's got to be pretty fun, right?
Yeah. No, it's a great group of people, and it's been nice, like between the Cirque series and then like OCC last year, we had a house for everybody involved in UTMB, and just like meeting everybody, and like I like it kind of goes back to like my goals in running. Like I never thought I'd even consider a world's team, but I also never thought I'd like have like like a team in trail running, like or to be a part of a trail running team. So it's kind of this like I don't know, like surprise sort of at the end of my career, but like I feel like I'm starting a new running career. But the crew is really cool, and the team's been awesome. Like when I first joined on that first season, I crashed mountain biking and broke my heel, and then like the day before I was flying to Zagama, and so I ended up not racing at all. And then they re-signed me, and it was like, yeah, no worries, man. Like, we have faith in you, that kind of thing. Where I was nervous and trying to force races when my heel was still hurt, and like I had to drop out. So it's been a pretty cool experience to be a part of that team.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
I love what David Kilgore has built. It's pretty sweet. I gotta ask you this: like with your approach, you have like such a like no, I wouldn't say lighthearted approach, but like it's your approach is different than say a few others that I've spoken to. Are you putting any pressure on yourself to make the team, or is it just like if I do, I do, and and if not, not?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say there's any pressure to make the team. It's just like, I mean, I would be like, maybe I'm not expressing it here that well, but like, I would be like so stoked if I did make the team. But I don't know, like, it's probably not like lack of confidence, but like, it's never been like making the team is like the goal, like massive success is like what I'm just pursuing. It's sort of like this unknown to me where I'm like, I just want to be like the best I can be June 1st at that race. And like, if that means I'm fifth or 10th or first, like, it's kind of just like seeing where I stack up. And like, I'm definitely going to race for the win and give it my all and like, prepare for it and try to be as strong as I can on that day. But yeah, it's no like disrespect, but like I just those goals I guess are I don't know, like they're not as established for me. So it's kind of just like if things go well, it's just like really exciting for me. But if things don't, then it's like a big learning curve for me as well.
No, I think it's a healthy place to approach it, man. I've talked to so many people that like just have nerves. Like they're like, I have to do this. Like I have to win it. And it's like, whoa, I don't know if you should go in with those expectations, because it's like, if it doesn't happen, then like, you know, you're going to be so defeated. Whereas like, I don't know. It's interesting though, like the mindsets of like folks going into this race. And like, I've also talked to other people, man, that like, they're just like, their eye is more on Broken Arrow and like less on Sunapee, and it's like, oh, that's not a good place to be either. Like you can't take your eye off the ball. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well, and I figure Sunapee is great preparation for Broken Arrow, like a just like short, hard race, like really like, you know, tap the lungs and legs. Like I think it's great prep. And then yeah, but like I mean, I think my mindset going into it, like with my background in ski racing, like I had massive goals. I always like kind of set my goals really high, and 99% of the time I fell short of them, and quickly realized that like the success comes from like the pursuit of those goals rather than like just a true measurement of like, did I achieve these goals, or what percentage of goals did I achieve each season? And like the Olympics were always like my like main target, and 3 cycles in a row I was like first or second alternate for the Olympics, even though the next year at World Champs I would qualify easily under basically the same criteria. And so like I had those ups and downs, and it was brutal at first, but then at some point I kind of came to this conclusion that like if like my only satisfaction and like happiness is from like just making this like kind of one goal, it's not worth it, because we're 50 weeks a year training for like this one day, and like there's a lot of variables, and competitors are really good and strong. And so I'm just like, I don't know, like I went for a run this morning and it made me really happy. So the process is like the main thing for me.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, David, I'm wishing you the absolute best of luck. I'm so excited to see what's going to unfold on race day for you. And yeah, man, I'm pumped, and I'll keep you posted on when this is going to come out. It'll come out next week at some point when we do everything for race week. So yeah, man, wishing you the best of luck. Stay healthy from here on out, and we'll probably be chatting after the race.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you, David. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Listen up, guys. The Steep Stuff podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Direction USA. Guys, I am so excited. UD just dropped their new Race Vest 6-liter and Ultra Vest 12-liter in 2 beautiful aesthetic colors. You guys got to check these new vests out. They're dynamic in ways like that you just have never seen from an Ultimate Direction vest. Very stretchy, lots of storage, beautiful aesthetic colorways coming to you in a new, like a white and blue and an onyx and green. Just absolutely beautiful vests. I think these ones are just like some of the best products we've ever dropped, and I'm so excited for you guys to try them out. Hop on ultimatedirection.com and use code SteepStuffPod. Again, that's SteepStuffPod for 25% off your new vest. I mean, they're already affordably priced, but 25% off is just going to make it so much more affordable for folks in an already increasingly expensive trail running environment. So hop on ultimatedirection.com, get yourself a new vest, a pack, or any hydration solution, and let me know what you guys think.